These are my cloaks. Hi, my name is Topaz, and I love cloaks. I love how they look. I love how practical and cozy they can be. I love the different styles and aesthetics and looks of them, and I love the way they make me feel like I could be going on an adventure anywhere. And I have 5 cloaks that I like wearing, and I thought it would be fun to kind of give you a cloak tour and chat about the making of them, why I like them, and how I enjoy wearing them. I am aware that some of my cloaks kind of come more under the heading of capes. I feel like everyone defines cloaks and capes differently, but I'm aware that some of these are kind of a bit more in between those. I wanted to go in chronological order and start off with the first cloak I ever had, which actually my mum made for me for a drama performance when I was like 9, and was made using a tutorial on YouTube for like an elf cloak, which I might link in the description if I can find it. Really good tutorial, and it's a really simple cloak. It gives me kind of like cartoon sort of, it's made with like a really light red, it's like a cottony fabric, and it kind of gives me sort of kind of cartoon vibes because it's kind of quite lightweight. There isn't much texture to the fabric, but it's got a really, really nice hood. And I've worn this for the drama performance. I've worn this for a lot of like kind of casual fantasy looks. I've worn this to go walking. It's great for a Red Riding Hood look. It was also, I used it in, last year I made a short film inspired by the My Hero Academia Fantasy AU. And this was the cloak that Fantasy Deku wore because, I don't know, red, it felt like it fit, and it was really nice to get to use it for that project as well. It is nice to have had this cloak for over 10 years now, and I still love it just as much, and it is still a blast to wear and style. You can do so many different things with it, it's a lot of fun. Moving on to this velvety thing, which was made for a Halloween costume. When I was about 12, I think, I created a whole character and a whole backstory and stuff. And again, this cloak was mostly made by my mum. I did help a bit, but I'm not sure if I was much help. And I still feel bad for choosing this material because it's so slippery, and then it's got a slippery lining, and it's not fun to sew at all. But it looks so cool. And again, amazing hood. I'm gonna take the flower crown off because I want to put the hood on, it's gonna get in the way. But like, I love how this kind of, it feels like kind of like quite either a witch or a princess cloak. It actually kind of, I rewatched Tangled recently, and it kind of gives me Mother Gothel vibes now. It's really comfy to wear, and it's really comfy to, you can swish it and move it. It's quite long. It's like, I think it was trailing on the floor when it was made because it was like nearly down to my ankles still, which is amazing. So I've worn this for that Halloween costume. I love it for like princess looks, and haven't worn it for costumes very recently. I should really break this out. If anyone invites me to like, maybe I should go to a fancy ball on this. Maybe that would be good. I do want to go to a fancy ball. I've never been to one before, and they look really, really fun. The next cloak I'm going to show you is my absolute pride and joy, and I could talk about for days because I love it so much. It has been with me for a while. I have worn it so many times. It's probably, out of all these cloaks, it's the one that I wear as like an everyday thing the most, hands down. So you ready? You ready? Okay. It is this guy. And it is as heavy as it looks. It is a massive, proper like winter cloak that was again made using a tutorial on YouTube, which I might try and find and put in the description, but also modifying it because I wanted a cloak that was like a full circle. And again, this was for a Halloween character. I created a lot of lore for this. This cloak started out life as a conversation in a cold and rainy tent in the middle of the Lake District. If you go camping, quite often the bathroom blocks at campsites leave their doors open overnight, which is interesting and often means that when you go in there in the morning, The entire thing is covered in moths. Really, really beautiful moths. I may put some pictures of the moths that I've seen in campsite bathrooms up now, because they're so cute! There was like a bright yellow one like Pikachu I saw in Wales that was so cute, and I love. But anyway, so after like a week of rescuing moths out of campsite bathrooms, sat in the tent, and my dad casually made the suggestion of like how cool it would be to put the design of a moth on the back of a cloak. I don't think he had any idea what he was starting at that point, but anyway. So I was like, huh, that sounds cool, and decided to make entire lore around this place where there were like these giant moths and these people who rode the moths, and it was so cool, and I still have all the notes for it and all the characters I made, and it makes me happy. But anyway, so I decided to make a cloak, and I wanted to do something that was practical. Like, this is the warmest thing. If I'm going on a winter walk that I know is going to be really cold, I will legitimately put this cloak on and wear it. It was a lot to make because of how big it is. So, and it's made with this really nice, I have no idea what this fabric is, but you might be able to see it on the camera. It's kind of got a texture to it, and it feels really nice. And I didn't get the moth design on the back sort of for Halloween, but I did get it for the next Halloween. It's an antler moth design, because that was the one I kept seeing in the bathrooms of the Ellswater campsite. But I'm gonna put a photo up on screen because you're not gonna be able to see all of it here, so you'll get videos of it, okay? This is what it's like. It is massive. This took me ages to do, but was so worth it again because I have legitimately worn this on so many winter walks and felt so awesome. And another ridiculous thing that I am so glad that I was like, please can we do this, was to put 2 clasps on it. Because it means that if it's really cold, that like pretty much covers my neck and it pretty much closes almost at the front. So it means that I have a really long, really, really warm garment to wear in winter. When I used to go on walks in winter before I was chronically ill and didn't have the energy to do that very much anymore. But yeah, it makes me so happy. I've worn this for so many costumes. Because I just love to pull it out and feel like I'm, you know, you can put it over your shoulders and do that. And it has like, the hood is slightly lined, so you get like this pop of green, like green, blue, that kind of colour around here, which I love. And it makes me happy. It makes me so happy because I feel like I could be an adventurer or something anywhere. This cloak is my favourite. This cloak is hands down my favourite cloak. And I've had it for like, what, 6 years? Over 6 years. It's been a while. We are now moving on to much more recent cloaks I've made since COVID, both of which are for the short film I mentioned that I made last year. The short film's called Lost and Found. I'm going to refer to it by that from now on rather than just saying the short film. This cloak was for Bakugo. And you wear it like this. I'm aware this isn't quite a cloak, it's more of like a cape, but I'm very happy with it. I had a lot of fun with the character designs for the characters. They were heavily inspired by the official art of the Fantasy AU, but especially with Bakugo's design, I really wanted to do something a bit different, because his fantasy design is great, but I didn't feel like it knitted as well with Todoroki's and Deku's designs, which were the other 2 characters in the film. So I wanted to sort of bring the colours more back to referencing his hero design, and it was like the second meet we'd had testing costumes, and I was like, it's not quite working, it needs a cloak. And I really wanted to bring kind of the leather into this, so this is a leather. I'd never worked with kind of leather before, barely did for this anyway, but this is like a leather offcut I got from MCM London like a few years ago. There was a really cool stall selling all these kinds of amazing leather armour and leatherwork things, and they had a box of offcuts. So I was like, great! Went to the box of offcuts and found this thing, and I've kind of been using it for a few random bits since, but then it was like, oh, when we were trying to work out how to do this, and then it's kind of, I think there are holes that were in this, and it's kind of been sewn on again. big thank you to my mum for doing the sewing on this, and it's just tied with a sash. And I had a lot of fun weathering the bottom of it. It's not as obvious as I would like it to be, but it is burned. I went and set it on fire with a small candle in a controlled way in the garden, and it was a lot of fun because I'd never done that before, and I'm really happy with how it turned out and how it fitted with the other characters, and it just felt very Bakugo and just really fit. I really love this cloak. I haven't worn it for much else apart from that. I really want to though, because it's really cool. It makes me feel like a powerful warrior or something, and I love it a lot. And last but not least, our final cloak of the video was made for, you guessed it, Todoroki. Again, the plan for the costume was taken pretty directly from the art, but I did kind of alter it a bit, sort of, I think, to add a bit more texture and just to kind of fit what I wanted to do and could do. The main reason Todoroki got a cloak was because Deku had a cloak the entire time. Then I was like, Bakugo's costume isn't working, as I've said, let's put a cloak on that. And then I was like, well, you can't have 2 out of 3 with cloaks. You need to have a full hand of cloaks. So Todoroki needed a cloak. And I didn't want to put, I really liked the way it looked at the front, so I didn't want to put anything extra on there. But managed to create something that clips on at the back. Shout out to the amazing person at the material shop we went to, who happened to design cosplays, knew My Hero Academia, and helped us find the fabrics to work on, because it's got like a, I'm sorry, I need to duck. I'm sorry, I don't know my fabrics very well, but this is kind of like a silk. I'm probably going to put on screen and text what it is. And then you've got like kind of a gauzy fabric on top, if I could just separate them out. So it's like this, and then, oh yeah, that. But together, whee! It looks kind of pretty and iridescent. And then it's attached by buttons. So, sewed these kind of like lapels onto the thing, and then you can put it on. And then you have a like cape cloak thing, which is really cool, I love. And I have worn this for some other costumes, but you know, I was so pleased. And like, look at that! Look at how cool that is! Again, great swooshing ability, and you don't really feel it. I was kind of worried it would slip back, but it doesn't slip back too much. And it stayed on for the 2 filming sessions. Actually, it stayed on for 1 filming session. It wasn't on for the other one. But I love it a lot. So that is my cloak collection. I hope you enjoyed looking at it. Let me know what you thought of them in the comments, or let me know about your cloaks. I want to know what cloaks you like, or what cloaks you have, or you want to have, or you want to make. Yeah, I love cloaks and the drama of them, and the vibes make me very happy. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hope you have a good day. Bye!